Before we get into this podcast with Suga Sean, check this out. Suga Sean is fighting Aljamain Sterling. I got my money at Trap Casino right now on my boy Suga Sean. If you guys want to bet sportsbook, go do this right now. Trap Casino, click the link in the description. All right, so let me remind you guys, this is for sports betting only. Check this out. Trap Casino is going to match you up to $300. So if you put in $30, they'll match you $30 all the way up to $300. $300 is going to match you $300, okay? Again, use code Martyn Sports. When you do this at the checkout, that's where they're going to give you that free money. Let's get into this podcast with Suga Sean. I'm going to ask him who can win in a street fight. Obviously, you guys already know that it's going to be me, or you don't. You just hate me, and anyways. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications, all that good stuff. Let's get into it right now. Anyways, I wanted to come here because obviously you have a massive fight coming up. I do. And you guys have been working together for years. How many years have you guys actually been working together?
Probably around 10 at this point. Like since I moved to Phoenix, pretty much consider us working together.
Have you ever involved like other coaches that are like there for you?
Well, I have strength and conditioning. Brandon Harris, I've been working with him for probably 4 or 5 years now. Augusto Mendez, our jiu-jitsu coach, who's one of the best to ever do it. He's in my corner. So Tim, Brandon, Tank are in my corner, but it's like Tim and Brandon are people I work with multiple times every single week. And then Dan Garner, my nutritionist, it's not in the fight game, but it's a huge part of the career. So yeah, definitely have a bunch of different coaches, but Tim's like the head coach that kind of runs the MMA stuff.
Yeah. So the fight's on the 19th, right?
Yeah.
As you get closer, do you notice like you're just so much, because you seem super sharp right now. Like mentally sharp.
I haven't smoked weed.
You what?
Haven't been smoking weed
at all.
No, I probably am about, I want to say over 2 weeks. I took one edible like last Saturday, but that's about it. But yeah, I've been smoking. I always feel way more clear-headed and sharp when I'm not smoking, but it's always so fun.
You having a lot more dreams?
Dreams have been vivid as fuck without smoking. But yeah, I feel sharp. I've been in a long fucking fight camp. Like we knew about this fight. I knew I was fighting either Aljo or Henry before they fought. So I've known I'm going to fight for a long fucking time. Like this at the end of it will be the longest training camp I've ever done for sure, as far as dieting and kind of like.
Do you think that's like draws you out though? Like if you're doing it for that long? Because I'm thinking as like bodybuilder perspective, you're dieting for this long. Do you think it makes you weaker? Or?
No, I think I'm good at I know what day we need to peak. I know what week we need to peak, and that's where Brandon really comes in handy, and kind of the strength and conditioning stuff that I do. It's like we have I've had 2 weeks where they've been calm weeks, chill weeks, like really hard, and then easier week, really hard. So we've broken it down in like a 12-week thing. So I'm not worried about it. Like I'm still able to get up and train fucking hard. I'm not like, God, is this shit over yet? So I feel like we're doing it right.
Yeah, so you feel like you can sustain it.
Yeah.
Your diet. So I'm assuming like you're obviously training striking and jiu-jitsu and all that, but like you're talking about the strength training into the fight. You're like ramping up to a point where you feel you're strongest, or do you not worry so much about strength towards it?
No, we definitely worry about strength, especially in a guy like Aljamain, who's probably the strongest guy in the division. As far as just from a strength perspective and grappling, he's probably the strongest guy in the division. So yeah, we're definitely focused on strength. But yeah, I am getting sick of my meal plans because it is chicken, quinoa, steak, rice. I don't mind a fucking steak and rice. Hard to beat.
Brandon has you like lifting heavy a little farther out, and then he moves into more explosive stuff and then longer stuff, right?
Yeah. So we're not fucking. Yeah, exactly. We're lifting heavier on the later out in the camp, and then we change it into more explosive shit right now because my weight has to come down too. So I'm not gonna. When I lift heavy, I'll get hungry, bro. I'm sure you fucking know. Jesus, like you lift, you get hungry.
What's the chirp on like him, like on Aljo, basically like not dieting in time? Because I see you tweeted, you're like, yo, this guy's like.
No, he makes weight. I mean, he's always made weight. I cut weight. I feel like I cut an average amount of weight, normal for the sport, and it's fucking hard, dude. Like you see me weigh in day. You see any of the guys, it's fucking miserable. He's quite a bit bigger. Like he's a big motherfucker, and he knows these next couple weeks I'm still eating good ass meals. Like I'm still eating fucking good ass meals. I'm sure slowly, it's August 4th right now. Slowly, the closer we get to the weigh-ins, he just has to start eating less.
So he diets into the fights heavy.
I think he's gonna crash diet. I mean, that's kind of what Tim had said, and I agree. It seems like he's gonna even right now, he might still eating good, but there's gonna come to a point where he's gonna have to really fucking limit those calories.
Are you basing this off what you know of him, like what he looks like? Like, what is his normal walk around weight?
He's always bragging about how big he is and how heavy he is and how much he weighs, and he's going up to 145 because he's so big. And he's been saying that for the last 3-4 fights, that these weight cuts are too hard. He's too big. So I mean, that's just coming from him.
Yeah, and he looks like right now he looks more shredded than he's ever looked.
Yeah, you see he posted a video the other day of
I saw it flexing.
He said after his workout too, which a lot of MMA jiu-jitsu workouts, you'll lose 6-7 pounds of water weight. He said after his workout, he was 157 pounds. So what's that?
We're fighting at 135, and he's probably 160 still.
Oh shit!
Like he cuts. I mean, he makes the weight. It's not. Some people say, oh, that's cheating or he's a weight bully. I mean, he makes the weight, but
yeah,
he cuts a lot of. You lose a lot of brain fluid when you cut that much weight. When you're that dehydrated. That's where I'm like,
just that dieting in general, where you have to like crash to a weight. That's just harder. That's harder to compete at that weight. I know it for sure.
Yeah,
it must be.
I mean, he went 5-5s with Henry Cejudo, who was the double champ. He's still performing. He's still making weight. He's still doing good. He's defended the belt more than any bantamweight has ever defended the belt. He's in his prime. He's 33.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if it's gonna play a role or not. But, you know, I like to think it is. Like,
yeah.
You know, and you see, it's science. You cut that much weight, you dehydrate yourself that much, it is not good for your brain.
Yeah.
You cannot take the shot that you would be able to take not cutting that much weight. And I fucking find people's chins.
Yeah.
And like, he's never faced anyone like Suge, and Suge's never faced anyone like him. So
yeah, I want to talk about that. I mean, this is probably going to be one of your harder fights. Probably your hardest fight.
100%. I mean, we'll see. I go out there and knock him out early. You could say it wasn't. But as far as the skill set he has, yeah, he's the best guy I've ever fought, for sure.
Yeah. This guy, we watched the last one. I mean, this guy's he's planning to just take you down, I'm assuming. That's his plan.
Yeah, there's zero secret on what his game plan is or what mine is. My game plan is do not let him grab me. His game plan is grab me. It's very simple. For me, it's a simple game plan, hard to execute. Don't let him grab me. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
He fought Corey Sandhagen, who's similar style, same lanky. He literally sprinted right at Corey Sandhagen, took him down, choked him out in 45 seconds. Like, could have been
cage,
less than that, but
small cage. But yeah, he's gonna want to come in there and get the job done quick. I feel like he's been saying he has these injuries and he's not, his weight cuts are too hard. So I feel like he's gonna come in there and try to get the job done early, which could really fuck him over in the later rounds.
You don't think he's just sandbagging, like all the complaining about his weight cuts?
I do a little bit think, because he's been saying he's like seriously injured for like 8 months, and he goes and fights Henry Cejudo 5-5, so didn't look injured at all. So he might be. I'm not taking it into, like, I'm not like, okay, he's injured, I'm gonna go in there, he's injured. I'm expecting him to have a good weight cut and be healthy.
Yeah, be 100%.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be more confident than he's ever been. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So has your training shifted or changed, knowing like this is who you're gonna go against? Like, are you changing the way that you're training?
My training camps have pretty much always been like, all right, they're gonna try to take you down.
Yeah.
He's just the best in the world at it. But yeah, my training camps, I would say, as far as Peter Yan one, wasn't as much as like, all right, he's gonna try to take you down and grapple fuck you, because he's such a good boxer. He's such a good kickboxer that in my head I'm like, this dude ain't gonna fucking shoot on me. And that was a mental mistake. I went in there thinking it was going to be a kickboxing match. Constantly, we're still grappling. I didn't literally just kickbox that camp. I was still grappling, but I was not expecting him to shoot as much as he did. But I forget, that's just what happens when I start putting hands on people. They're going to shoot. So I'm expecting Aljamain to come in there and shoot.
Yeah. What round do you think is going to end in? A real prediction. It's so hard. Asking you this is so tough.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I go out there, take them out in the first round. That's how I've always wanted my fights to go. I've always wanted to go out there and put people's lights out in the first round. And you look at my career, my UFC, well, even before that, if I don't finish in the first round, I do drop people at least in the first round. I will find his chin. And like I said, he's cutting a lot of weight, so it's going to be up to his chin to decide if he can take those shots. And I have to deliver those shots before he does get a hold of me. But I am very confident. I'm very hard to take down. I'm not easy to take down. He's not going to go in there and just be able to grab me super easy. So I do believe in my skill set to avoid the takedown, the wrestling defense, and to find his chin.
Yeah. Damn. I'm so fucking excited for this fight, man.
It's a big fight.
Like, this is like, I always feel so because I can know you. It's always so personal. I'm like, when we watch these fights, we get so fucking riled up.
Yeah, you were there when fucking in Abu Dhabi. I mean, you saw me. I think you saw me after I fought Peter, like right after I fought Peter.
Bro.
I was fucking.
Bro, I gotta say, this was like you. People would never see because they don't show this shit.
Yeah.
Like after the fact. So we saw you before getting hyped up, putting your raps on, like literally like
dialed.
We all were like, we probably can't go say something to him right now because you were so zoned in. Like it would have been awkward if we came up to you. And then after the fight, this is after the yawn, right? Remember you come into the hallway and you're like literally like you look like you were dying, like you were like
I gave every single last bit of energy I had. You know, I literally left it all out there, and that's how I got the job done. I had to literally give everything I had out there. And yeah, and he hit me with a hard left hand in the second round. So I was definitely concussed. You get cracked like that, you're concussed. And if you're there at a concussion, you don't understand how that makes you feel. But concussions fucking suck.
I bet you if you had a heart rate monitor on during that fight, it'd be 210.
Dude, it probably hit 210 for real.
It's so crazy. Look, when I think this fighting shit is just in general just the most like one of the intense things you could ever do as far as sports goes.
As far as 100%. That's fighting.
I mean, you guys are literally like going there to fucking kill each other.
It's kill or be killed in there. Obviously, there's a ref. Obviously, there's time limit. But mentally, it's kill or be killed for pretty much everyone that steps in there. And if it's not, those guys probably aren't winning.
Yeah. When you because like training for that, right? Because when I think about the fighting, it's like that's the thing that I know that I guess it's just repetition. Because there's that fight or flight response when you're going to fight someone that like, you know, most people normally would like, they get in a fight at a bar, that shit lasts like, they have like 15, 20 good seconds of a fight and then they're out because of how much adrenaline dump. When you, like at what point in your career did you start to get a handle on like that flow where like you didn't feel like, because I'm assuming in your earlier career, you probably would get into fights and you'd have more of that dump where you're like, oh, I'm tired fast.
Yeah, I had 12 amateur MMA fights, 4 boxing fights, 4 kickboxing fights. So by the time I turned pro, I had it pretty dialed in. I had a lot of experience before I even turned pro.
Okay.
Even in your 8th fight, like in Great Falls, Montana, though, like it still weren't the best with your energy. Remember in the rounds you'd be having your hands on your knees
as an amateur.
Hanging out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was. I mean, I definitely fucking had to go through a learning phase, but
that's the difference between like an amateur and a pro, though. It's just being like efficient with your energy. That's the biggest thing that no one talks about.
Still don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a game changer for sure. Being efficient.
Well, that seems to be like, besides obviously the technical skill and like the cardiovascular, like that literal mental stimulation that like shoots up, where you have to be able to keep it in some sort of range, so it's not, you're not dumping all that adrenaline. You're like, oh, now I'm fucking tired.
Yeah,
and then you go in there and hurt somebody, and you're almost got them finished. So then you go out there and try to empty the tank, and now you're just like, fuck. But if you ask almost any pro fighter what their biggest fear is probably just gassing out.
Yeah,
just gassing out. That'd be my biggest fear, 100%. Yeah. That's my biggest fear for sure.
That's why I know when you get in your fights, you're gonna give them hell for a good minute.
Once you gas out, it doesn't matter how fucking skilled you are. If you're gassed
you're
out,
done. You can't fight.
Done. Yeah, you're fucked.
Your arms are just like, you can't do shit.
Yeah, and mentally you're just you break. You're just like, fuck. There's nothing I can do. You start looking for a way out.
You're just waiting to get knocked out or what? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
That's a scary shit.
Yeah, fighting's fucked up.
So it is. How long do you think you're gonna do this shit for?
It's probably just until I can't, until my body's done, or if I, you know.
This is the crazy thing about that statement, though. Is like when does a fighter really know that? Because like fighters, they just keep going. Because a part of being obviously a great fighter is you're gonna, that line of when I can't, like when my body says I can't, you're gonna fight that.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm gonna make enough money to where, I mean, I don't really have to fight for money. Obviously, they're always going to be intriguing, huge paydays. But even right now, I have 5 houses, and I truly believe I don't have to fight ever again. If I was very smart with my money, which I am, I could retire right now and never have to fight again.
Yeah.
So I'm already kind of getting to the point to where I'm like, I get to fucking do this. I don't have to go fight so I can pay something off. I am, so I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm going to take care of my body, continue to eat clean, train smart, and do my recovery stuff. But I definitely want to continue to do this for the at least minimum the next 5 years. I want to be active 2-3 fights a year, and I fucking just love performing. And yeah, so
my question to that, because like that's the thing, you know, you think about Conor, not that Conor just made a bunch of money and just fucked off, but to your point of not having to fight, how do you keep the same sort of like fire and energy when it comes to the fight when you know you don't have to do it? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what people.
I think it's just the mindset, it's perspective. I get to do it. I don't have to. I get to. I want to. But who knows? I could have fucking $100 million in the bank. Like, man, I really, because going through these fucking fight camps is brutal. It's tough. Going through dieting, cutting weight, it fucking sucks. So something in my mind could for sure switch. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to switch anytime soon. I want to continue fighting. I want to get in the octagon. I want to be the biggest star in the UFC. So I don't know. That could
I still
switch.
think you're destined for that. I
do
really
too.
do believe that.
Yeah.
Some guys just like, so they define themselves as a fighter. Like, look at Tony Ferguson. I think he's on a 6-fight losing streak.
Fuck, that was tough.
I don't know if he has anybody around him saying, "Hey, brother, like, you're gonna live another life after this."
Yeah.
Do you think he should hang up the gloves after that last fight?
6-fight losing streak.
I mean, for sure. He's gotten concussed so much, been through so many different fight camps. He's not on the winning end of a lot of it. Maybe go a different route. But every person you run into, they say, when's your next fight?
Yeah.
Or they bring up fighting. They're just literally defined as a fighter. So it's hard for people who've dedicated 20 plus years to that to move on.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that obviously from a different perspective. Just like not at all hardcore related to fighting, but just in general on YouTube, and like people connect you to what they want to connect you to, and then you kind of live off of that, and you have to like try to like see past that. And it's hard sometimes. Like you said, people come up to you and be like, well, what about this? What about that? I guess kind of on that line, like what I guess what else would you be doing if like would you just continue podcasting? Like
I'd probably, I mean, I already have, you know, one princess, one little daughter. I think just having more kids, building a tribe sounds fucking fun. Like that sounds fun. I'm excited for the next part of my life when I do retire to have, you know, a couple kids, maybe a bunch of kids.
But competition wise, like you're a competitor, what would you do?
Spike ball. No jokes.
Spike ball.
I think jiu-jitsu, no-gi jiu-jitsu. I definitely want to get back in the gi. I don't feel like there's like time right now in my training, especially I feel like I'm bouncing from training camp to be in a gi. No-gi training's fucking fun. I can do that when I'm, you know, 40, 45. You can still do that, especially if I take care of myself. When I can't necessarily fight, I could do no-gi competitions. Just continue to do jiu-jitsu. Just being around the gym. Tim teaches every single night, and it's like fun for him. Like it's not like it's like he has to go to work. It's he comes in and you know trains his soldiers. And I think who knows, maybe like Tim and I find a young stud that's coming up, and when I'm kind of Xing it out and we take him under our wing. I've learned so much shit in this fucking game that I have a lot of knowledge to give back to, so that's always fun. Being around the UFC, I think like going to fight weeks with one of our soldiers would be fucking fun. So I'll probably continue to be in the game one way or another. But yeah, I think once it's my time to go, you know, I think I have the right tools mentally to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think you have a ton of range, even just outside of fighting. Obviously, you've proven that with social media content and shit.
It is scary to think about though, like thinking about some of these guys saying that that's their last fight. I'm like, whoa. It is. It kind of gives you that little whoa, but you know, it has to happen. So
yeah, at some point. So I guess I feel like everyone would really be mad if I don't ask you this question. but or they'll be mad when I ask you this question. Either way, I think you know what question is coming next. Because Steve asked me this on his podcast, and I was like, "That's a tough one." Who wins in a street fight, me or you?
Street fight.
In my opinion, is it in a basketball court or is it in a cage?
A street fight. Well, yeah.
Well, no. We got space.
A lot of space.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean somewhere on
if it's not a tight, if it's not like somewhere super like a room like this, I wouldn't like my odds as much. But like a wide open space, I'm 100% not gonna get as tired as you. It would be very hard for you to just grab a hold of me. I've been defending that for the last 12 years, not letting people grab a hold of me, but no one has tried as strong as you. But even if you did just grab a hold of me, there's other issues you got to worry about. Don't let me fucking grab your neck at all. Don't let me take your back. I could probably, I honestly, I got a couple little takedowns that I'd probably be able to get to your back and choke you. That's how I would have to guess. What do you think?
Streets are different though. You get his back, he can slam you on the concrete.
That's true.
It's
that is
so
true.
different.
You jump backward and slam me. I'm not in a good position unless I don't know. That's a good point. I wouldn't want to test it. I wouldn't want to fucking do it.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it either. I like you a lot.
It would be scary. I would be scared. I'd be like, but that would also probably make me more dangerous. Being like, if it's actually life or death.
Yeah, that's
I feel like I'd like to think I have the skills to be able to kill you.
Yeah,
but
but
I would also
and you have a daughter,
want to find out. Yeah, and I got something to live for. I'm like, I got a fucking family I got to feed. But yeah, I wouldn't like to find out. You versus Tim would be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. Tim's obviously way bigger than me.
How much you weigh?
Still smaller than you.
About 200.
Yeah. You're very skilled though.
Yeah, Tim can he can box. He can
For Bradley, it'd have to just be like he's so strong and explosive and powerful. People think you're like some clunky bodybuilder.
Yeah, I know.
Seeing you race 6'9", though, I was like, that motherfucker can move too.
But I did see you swing that baseball bat. You ain't got the hips
Okay,
like
well,
that.
It was a little femmy.
Wait a second.
That was a little gay.
That's fucking
You weren't
funny.
warmed up though. You weren't.
No, I wasn't warmed up. I mean, baseball's not my thing, man.
No,
Definitely
yeah,
not my
it's
thing.
a different. I literally grew up fucking swinging that bat. But yeah, I think people underestimate like how strong you really are because
But athletic too.
and athletic. Yeah, it's a fucking dangerous combination. I would rely on you try to get your heart rate up and
Yeah.
You'd have to just defend yourself for a while, wait till he starts to spike, makes a mistake, and then
try to stomp his knee, maybe kick him in the gut a little bit, run though. Yeah, but if you grab a hold, I mean, it's not. I would not want to be there for sure.
he's gonna slam you.
Yeah, because you could definitely pick me up. I heard.
I'd have to get to his legs, start tearing up his knees.
Yeah, definitely. Try to take your ankles out.
You heard what?
When Brendan was talking about Demetrius Johnson, you being on, I think did he say that even if you get on top of him? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Demetrius' jiu-jitsu is off his back when they're really.
He's competing in the gi, Master Worlds, black belt. But didn't he said, see you soon? He tweeted that.
Something like that.
Demetrius?
Yeah. Well, I was talking about doing a podcast with him.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think Brendan just offered up like fucking fight him, but it's like I don't.
He's
see,
probably you'd meet him and be like, this is one of the nicest guys I've ever.
Yeah,
fought.
for
I'm
sure.
sure.
For
I'm sure. I mean, all these guys, like I don't think any
For
of these
the
guys are
most
just
part.
assholes
Yeah.
for the most part.
There's some fucking dipshits out there.
Who?
I guess probably.
Sean Strickland, who knows how he'd act?
Yeah, Sean Strickland.
That guy, I see clips of him. He don't give a fuck.
He's a nut,
He don't.
bro.
He's
he
funny.
does not give a fuck.
He's
Thank
funny.
God there's fighting because he's meant to be a fighter.
Did you hear him on Rogan? He's like, I just want to kill someone. I just know it would feel good. He said that like 5 times.
Yo.
And Rogan would like try to go away from the topic. And then he'd be like, well, I was walking down the street with my girlfriend. I just said, what if I did kill someone? He like kept bringing it up. I'm like, holy shit.
He seems crazy.
He's a
Funny
ticking
as
time
fuck.
bomb.
But he also talked about his past and his childhood. And it's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's retarded.
Anyone else?
I guess not really.
Like, do you
think
like?
of.
Let's talk about Aljamain. Do you really like not like that guy, or is it just fight beef?
He has what I want. He's the champ.
Got
I
it.
want to be the champ. He seems like he seems like if he trained here and we were teammates, we'd be buddies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't seem like he's like a douchebag by any means.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The
I'm also not getting pay-per-view points, so.
Oh, you're
If
not?
I was, I'd be like, fuck. No, I'm just no, yeah. I mean, I'm kidding, but yeah, he thinks I think he's fine. He's a
Wait, are you not getting pay-per-view points actually?
No. As a champ in UFC, it's very, 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 very few people have gotten UFC pay-per-view money from not being champs. I think Jorge might have been an exception, but yeah, you don't get it unless you're defending your belt.
So he gets pay-per-view.
He is, yes.
Okay.
That's why he wants this fight so bad. He knows
This is a big ass
the biggest fight
This
he's
is
ever
a
had.
huge fight. Then.
This is his biggest paycheck.
Dang, he's gonna get a bag.
He's getting bagged.
So
Holy
regardless of how
fuck.
beat up he is, he's gonna show up.
Yeah, he's gonna show up. He'll make.
You know what I find about that so interesting? Like the same reason why like you get so much kind of like obviously you get tons of love, right? But you get some hate because people are like, does he deserve to have these opportunities? You're also like in this position. That guy knows just as much as we'll know, knowing his views and like your popularity. That like you're offering up a massive bag to be in the fight with him in relationship to you. Not that he's not a great fighter, not that he doesn't deserve that chance, but. What do you say to the people that are like, yo, like, why are you having this chance? And because people will kind of say like, oh, because he's friends with Dana and all this kind of shit. I read all that.
Yeah, no, I see it a little bit. I really don't see it too much, but I know it's there. I mean, I beat Peter Yan, who's the #1 guy in the world, and they said whoever wins that fight gets a title shot. I think it's pretty fucking simple. I beat the #1 guy in the world, and now I fight the champ.
Yeah.
You know, so I mark it down as that. It's simple. It is what it is. UFC is a business. They're not gonna put. They want to make the most money they possibly
And I
can
respect
every
that.
fight. who versus Aljamain Sterling is going to make them the most money?
Yeah.
Me. Oh, and I just beat the number one guy who was the number one guy in the world. That makes sense. So it's pretty fucking simple.
Yeah. So if you win this, who do you think's your contender?
There's a couple options. Cheeto's fighting on that card. He's fighting Pedro Munoz, and that could be a possibility, even though he did just get absolutely wrecked by Corey Sandhagen. Corey's fighting Rob Font this weekend. That's a big fight. Those are probably the two biggest fights right now. I don't know. I'll probably try to pick the worst guy pick the worst guy that I can find and say,
I love
whoever I have the best chance of knocking out is who I want to fight. People are like, that's so stupid. I'm like, really? You're telling me, huh?
Yeah.
I
love how fucking honest you are, bro. That's hilarious.
But I say it and it's kind of funny, but realistically, they're all fucking killers, dude. Everybody in the top 10 is a fucking dog.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's whoever I match up best against. It's pretty fucking simple to me. Do I have the opportunity to pick? We'll see. It's not like I'm not fucking Sean White.
Yeah, you're not making those picks.
I could snowboard though. Wait, did he skate or snowboard?
Snowboard.
Okay.
You nailed that, actually.
But UFC's gonna do what they want. Will they say, hey, who do you want to fight? Possibly. So we'll see.
Yeah, but do you feel like whoever it is, you'd fight no matter what?
Whoever it is,
whoever they pick, you're down for it. You want that fight.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say no and then not fight. If they say, hey, this is who you're fighting, and it's someone I don't want to fight, I'll say, hey, are you sure? And they say, yeah, and I'll say, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a massive card. It will be a massive card if I'm on it. There's always a card in December in Vegas. I fucking win, lose, or draw. I want to be on that card. I want to keep fighting. I want to stay active. So ideally, I go defend my belt in December in Las Vegas.
Oh man.
And party at Resorts World at Zook and fucking have a hell of a time.
That'd be so much fun.
Oh god, yeah.
So if you lose this fight, what's your path then?
December. Fight whoever they give me or whoever they offer me, and yeah, I want to fight in December regardless. Ideally, it's so hard to say. Obviously, I fucking broke my foot one fight. I fractured my thumb one fight. So I want to get out of this fight not injured so I can fight again. That's what I love to do. I love fighting, love performing, and that's the plan. So December's the plan regardless, win or lose.
Yeah, keep fighting.
Yeah.
I love it, man. What about your personal life? How's everything there? Anything different? Anything changed? You still doing the open relationship thing, or?
In camp, I don't really fuck chicks, unfortunately. It's just not on my radar as much. I get horned up still, want strange and shit, but I avoid that. And just, that always comes with complications inside the relationship. So I completely avoid that in the camp. So, like I said, it's been a long camp. It's been a long time since I had some strange.
When do you think you're going to find a girl where it's like, okay, this is the last puss I'm feeling for the rest of my time on the planet?
Yeah, I am, for sure. That's what I want, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm 34. I'm getting to a point where like I just want a family, Like I have everything else and I keep going forward, keep growing, but like I'm not interested in like nonsense anymore.
You think you can find that in LA?
Yeah, how would you be able to find it?
That's the complicated part, right? Like there's places like I believe that I found it in certain cases, and then it's like, my fears of like, man, well, what if this fucking backfires on me? That kind of shit will come up because I've been around for so long and I've seen so much. That like,
or Steiny fucks your girl or something.
Oh, that would never happen.
I saw that.
You saw that dumbass clip?
I saw the whole pod.
His plan was like, yeah, well, I'll fuck her and then like she'll remember how good she had it with you and stay with you. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I love Steiny. That fucker's funny, bro.
Yeah, he's funny. So yeah, I mean, like that's definitely the goal, man. Is to settle down for sure. Because like I'm done with all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find a good mom, baby mama.
Yeah,
that's
find a good mom,
dude.
Man.
A baby mama,
dude. Just having just a girl that you can trust who truly loves you. It's like
it has your back.
Feel lucky.
I feel like I feel like LA. I've only been there a few times, so I don't have like a perfect perception of it. But I feel like LA would be hard to find that fucking.
Especially in his job, owning the gym, going there.
All those chicks. I couldn't do it. I would have to fucking. I don't think I could do it, G.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try to get your testosterone low as possible.
Yeah, just bust like 6 nuts before you leave
just
the door.
Just looking at girls, just like
get it so low that I just don't even want to do it. No, it's like I'm past that. Like mentally, because I've done it all, man. I've been through all that.
Yeah,
like,
but you get with a girl for 6 months and you're fucking good, and then you start craving that extra strange again. That's the issue. You can stay with one girl, like it's no issue for a little while.
Do you think you'll be able to block that though?
Yes, because Because I'll tell you, man, it's like fighting. It's like once you know you have to do it. Like I'm at a point in my life where like I'd rather have the peace of mind knowing that like I got someone solid than like I just have some extra puss. Yeah. I'm really at that point in my life.
Even if she just like pisses you off one day and like won't
Gives
suck
you
you
an
up,
excuse.
but then there's this
Won't
10 who
what?
won't suck you up or
Okay.
something, and then there's this 10 at your gym that's just like, I'll suck you. No one will know.
Dude, no, I've been there, bro. I've made those mistakes. Like I've already made those mistakes that I know it's like, okay, I don't want to continue to make these same mistakes because it's caused so much more turmoil
Better
in my
man
life.
than me.
Trying to like fix it or fucking make it better, man.
Yeah.
God, but a little suck up. That's just society's in your head saying, we want you to be this guy. You got to fight that feeling.
Why do they want? Why is it that way?
Religion. That's just how. I mean, it comes
In
down
Hollywood,
to religion.
Hollywood movies.
Monogamy is just like what they've pushed on us since we were kids. So anything you think different's fucked up, and no one else really lives that lifestyle, so it's fucked up. I don't know. It's complicated though. It's fucking complicated.
Well, remember I
subject.
asked you the question about like, would you let another, like, if you believe that, would you let another guy be with your girl? You said no, though.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
Yeah, nah. So like, so
I
that's
can
what
fuck me. I'm a king. I pay for everything. I treat Danny like a queen. If I get a little puss on the side, what does that have to do with anything? I got testosterone running through my veins. That's fucking simple. I wouldn't say that if I was in the opposite position. If I wasn't paying for everything, if I wasn't successful in any sort of way, and I was just like fucking maybe an average Joe, I probably wouldn't be fair. But I feel like I'm fucking King Kong.
Then you'd have to hide it.
I'm fucking King Kong, baby.
because of what you have to offer.
I feel like Andrew Tate explains it well. It's status.
Yeah.
Status.
So you
I got status, so I can fucking. But I don't know. It's like I said, in camp, that's not a thing. After camp, it's Danny's never fine with it. I mean, she has been. She's gone through phases. But then we have a baby, and then her hormones change, and then it's like this and that. But I'm a crazy motherfucker, dude. I am on a leash. I put myself on a leash. I have to live a very disciplined lifestyle. I could for sure go out, do some fucking bumps and go off the rails easily. Like if I didn't have discipline, I would be a fucking. Oh, dude, I would be a fucking crazy. I'd be Connor. For sure. I'd be hitting booger sugar on my fucking yacht and blow all my money. But I do live a very disciplined life. And if I want to get a little bit of pussy sometimes, what the fuck?
I'm not judging. I understand it.
It makes me a better man.
Damn. After the side puss, you're like,
Don't you think a little bit sometimes? You get some strange, you get out of your system. You're like,
it almost
fuck
makes
yeah.
you love your main partner like more.
Yeah, just manipulate them. You'll be
me.
all right.
yeah.
I'm kidding. I fucking treat Danny good as fuck. I treat her like a queen. She would never, I treat her good. I give her a fucking very, very, very good life. She does, she's passionate about her work, her hair, and she works twice a week. She doesn't have to work at all, but she chooses to work twice a week. She's set. She's good. Like
That's the thing. If your relationship's not good, your sex isn't good, then there's no way that's gonna ever work.
Yeah, that's such an important piece to it. It's like I can't not be fucking Danny ever and then be like, I want some strange.
And
like,
her having the security that you want to be with her forever.
Yeah. I gotta be giving her some good Deezy Weezy to be able to get some on the side for sure. Your relationship has to be 100% good. Can't be any questioning, can't be any fighting. It's got to be good to be able to do that. And like I said, I haven't got no strange in a long time, but I've been in camp, so hopefully after this fight, I'm like, hey, boo, you know what time it is. I'm fucking blonde with some big natural titties.
You like a blonde?
I go through phases.
Do you really?
Oh, fuck yeah. I be craving some different strange all the time. A little blonde, maybe a black chick. I haven't had a black chick.
Ever?
Fire. Never a fucking sexy
But what's
black
the other
chick.
option though? What do most other guys do?
Cheat
They
and lie.
They just cheat and
Okay,
lie.
90%.
if we're
That's
being
it,
honest,
bro.
if we're being honest, that's the truth. Yeah, most people just lie.
People
about it.
I'm gonna get so much shit for sitting here saying this, but most of the guys listening to this that think it's fucked up, most of them probably cheat on their girls.
Let your girl look through your phone.
And yeah, exactly. If you guys are sitting there listening to this with your girl right now, judging me,
I love
let your girl grab your phone right now and look through every
You
message.
just ended a lot of relationships.
I know.
Yo, fuck.
But it's for real. I get judged for it, and it's not even like
People do
dude,
judge. I remember.
I don't get. I'm not fucking a chick every week, every month. There's I can go half a year without getting strange. I'm not saying I don't want it more, but it's not like I'm fucking chicks all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you do make a really good point. Like most people they just lie about it. Or they just do dirt. Like, and they're not transparent about it. They're not honest about it. They're just doing shit anyways and just like hiding it.
But then there's the other thing. It's like, okay, do you want to be? Can you be your higher self and avoid that and not do that? Yeah,
I think,
but I don't want to.
I can. I definitely. I'm there.
One day I can get there.
Bro, I'm there. How old are you?
33.
Yeah, 30. Maybe you just need one more year. I'm 34.
Well, I've been with my girl for 13 years, and she's like the perfect girl. Like,
he gets more strange than I do.
Like, she really is. We have a good life. Yes, I do pay for everything and take care of her well, but I want to be with her forever. Like, she's my girl, and she knows that.
Yeah, it's super important. I still think I think when you get a girl, I'm gonna hit you up in 6 months after you get a girl and say.
Every time I've gotten strange, like there hasn't been once where it's even crossed my mind I'd rather be with that girl than Mariah. Never even once in my life.
He's good at just fucking hitting it, not even knowing their name or their weight. He'll hit a 230 and dip.
230?
No.
230?
We had a bet the other day. I didn't. Him and our buddy Sono had a bet the other day that it was with I think Gaethje in one of the fights, and his was he has to hook up with a chick over like 210 or something. He won the bet, but he was like, "Oh yeah, all right." That wasn't even a fucking loss for you. You were pumped about that.
Yeah, right, bitch.
Fuck, dude. I get it. I mean, yeah. For me, I just have to let it go. I'm just at a point where I gotta let it go, man.
It's gonna be tough for you too because just
being around
your status, girls you're around, you travel, and it's like this whole thing for maybe a normal dude who just works a normal job. Maybe it wouldn't be as hard, but for someone like you, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
But then it's like you can't get a girl and have this kind of relationship right off the rip. You got to gain some sort of trust and
to
sure.
create that safety. So okay, next topic though on this. Who do you think wins? Obviously, when they see this pod, it's going to be on Tuesday. We'll be after the fact. Who do you think wins this weekend? Nate Diaz, because we're filming this on. This literally the fight's tomorrow.
Yeah,
Nate Diaz and Jake Paul.
I
want to see how this ages
for this fight. I am so excited for this fight. It's like being in the UFC, being an MMA fighter, and then it's Nate Diaz. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah,
so you almost feel like kind of guilty. Like I do like Jake. I've met him a few times. I would say we're considered buddies, and I think his career has been super inspiring. Honestly, like he was going down a path and found boxing, and it's a cool story. And I relate to him on a lot of levels. So I do like Jake, and I think. Fuck, he looks in shape. Before this, I watched the weigh-ins. Jake looks is in the best shape he's ever looked. Nate doesn't look bad. He looks pretty good, but he's never like super shredded. I think he's looked more shredded against other guys, but that was at 155. That's when he cut some weight. He's fighting at 185. He's fighting in a weight class. He weighed in with his jeans on and shoes. Like,
dude,
what?
And Jake Paul, like
he probably weighs 185 during the fight.
He has this whole new team, Suga Sean O'Malley. He's been in the game. Nate hasn't been in the boxing. Like, he's been in the boxing game, obviously, but part-time. Maybe I'm boxing 3 times a week or twice a week. Jake Paul's doing it every day. If I had to bet money right now, it'd be Jake Paul decision.
You think a decision?
Yeah.
What round?
Well, it's 10 rounds.
Decision, sorry.
Yep.
Decision.
10 rounds.
Just at the end of it.
Yeah.
It is 10 rounds. Nate said he wanted 10 rounds. It was scheduled for 8. Jake did agree to those terms. That shows fucking some serious confidence. And Jake knows, like, if the fight goes longer, it probably leans towards an 8. But he must be confident and in some serious good shape. But
he looks the most jacked he's ever looked. For sure.
He's good at finding that right hand.
Besides, like, obviously we're talking about the fighting stuff, but I'm curious because, like, you as a fighter, you're basing who you think could win just off of how in shape they look. Because that seems like the first thing you said was like, this guy looks in better shape, which I find so interesting.
I was thinking he looks in better shape than he's looked in previous fights as far as that's how serious he's taking it. You don't look like that without training fucking hard, especially he's not a shredded, like his brother Logan has different genes. Like, he's shredded. Jake didn't have those kind of, like, he looks like he's in fucking good ass shape. He's kind of ripped for
condition.
Yeah, he looks like he's in really fucking good shape. And he probably learned a lot losing to Tommy. Like, that was probably one of the best things for his career is losing to Tommy. It wasn't a bad loss, but it was a loss that probably stung. So he probably got back to the drawing board and, learned a lot. And he does find that right hand. He landed that right hand a lot on Tommy. Tommy ate it. He kind of rolled with it. And Tommy's a young buck. Nate's taken a lot of damage. He's never been knocked out. He's never been dropped, I don't think. Maybe once, but... That adds up.
And
39.
And 38, and he's going to be fighting someone 200 pounds, too.
Jake's a big boy.
Yeah, Jake's big. So this is interesting though, because like after this fight, whoever wins this fight seems like they have a shot at potentially fighting Conor. Like what they're talking about, Nate fighting Conor as like in the trilogy, and then I think Conor made a tweet said like regardless he wants to fight Nate of this outcome, but like it seems like Jake would have an opportunity if he kept trolling to actually get in the ring with Conor.
I don't think Conor ever goes. Conor's not a big. He's big, but he's not a big guy. Like he's, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, he's not super tall, but
He's 5'8",
he is pretty thick. But
5'9".
on the Full Send
Jake's pretty tall,
podcast,
yeah.
Nate Diaz said, if he beats me, I'm going to try to whoop his ass again. So he might do that MMA thing.
Yeah,
if
Jake
beats him.
seemed very serious about fighting him in MMA.
He said
and he
10
said he'll
mil.
choke him.
He said 10 mil challenge. He said 10 mil to fight him.
It'd
in
probably be
MMA.
in the PFL. Jake's signed with the PFL, obviously. That's fucking interesting. I'm excited. I like watching that shit. Jake, win or lose, will have. I mean, lose. Let's say loses. What does he do next?
Well, I was
That's
talking.
tough.
Yeah, I was talking to Shah about this. Like, do you think? I want your opinion on this. Do you think Jake will continue fighting if he loses this?
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, I think he's kind of adopted boxing as a lifestyle. Maybe not. I could be completely wrong, but
Once you get a crazy kid like he seems to be, and then he's got a disciplined routine.
I think he will.
He falls in love with that disciplined routine. Without that disciplined routine, it's like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still big fights. He's still a massive character. Maybe fight guys that are not pro boxers. Go back to fucking fighting other guys and have fun doing that. Jake versus KSI, regardless, is a big fight.
Yeah.
Win or lose, there's big fights out there. He'll continue to make.
And
big
I was
fights.
talking about the biggest fight I think he'd ever make, and I think this is probably their plan, just based on me looking at it from the outside, is Logan and Jake.
Logan versus Jake.
The biggest fight they could ever make.
Yeah, I mean that would be massive. I don't think they'll ever do that. I wouldn't ever want to fight a teammate that I kind of grew up training with and stuff. I wouldn't want to do that. There's no way I would fight my brother, even if he was skilled. Like, there's just no fucking way you'd want to hurt. There's no chance, in my opinion.
You don't think they would though? Because I feel like they're so competitive with each other.
Yeah, I think if they did, I wonder if they would be like, hey, just don't throw full power.
Let's
Let's go have a
build
war.
this fucking-
Don't clinch down on your knuckles.
Make like an exhibition match.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know, because I think they're so competitive. One will come in and be like, yeah, we'll do this. And then he'll catch one and be like, wait a sec, what the fuck? You know how just
true.
friends end up fighting.
Yeah.
And it always gets too serious. Because like, did you see the press? I think they had him sit down and they were saying how Logan was trying to take this fight from Jake.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm used to that or something.
Classic Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like they seem very competitive with each other.
Yeah.
All right, guys, quick interruption from the podcast. Check us out, Green Chef. If you guys have been wondering what you should or shouldn't be eating, or like how you should or shouldn't be eating, obviously, first off, you need to get a meal plan. But check this out, Green Chef. If you guys have your meal plan, they make it really, really easy for you. Green Chef will send you all the ingredients along with your food. So it's like, instead of going to the grocery store, which is why I like it, instead of going and like buying all the ingredients, okay, I'm gonna make this like chicken dish with like, you know, this side and this side, or like these veggies, like they basically have it all kind of like plug and play and you pick it and it's all sent to your door. Super easy, super convenient. At the same time, it's dope because it's customizable, where like if you are ordering for yourself, for example, and you're like, okay, let's say like this week went by and you felt like, man, I feel like I need a little bit more, like maybe more veggies in your diet, or you wanted more snacks, you can go and just like pick to add snacks. So you can kind of like customize what your day looks like, how it's going to show up basically at your door. Super convenient, like I said. And honestly, I'd say the best part about Green Chef is that like it takes the guesswork out of like you figuring out what you should or shouldn't eat, because all the stuff's going to be clean based on like what you select, what you pick, whether it's like a keto type meal plan or like a vegan or a vegetarian type meal plan. Everything's kind of like laid out for you, so you just kind of pick, and then as you kind of go through it and as you use the service, it allows you to kind of like go back and, okay, I want more of this or I want more of that. So if you guys want to check out Green Chef, go to greenchef.com/RawTalk50. Put in code RawTalk50 to get 50% off your order today, plus free shipping. Again, that's greenchef.com/RawTalk50. Put in code RawTalk50. Support your boy. Let's get back into this podcast. Eat right. Stop playing.
Hey, I think in that position, whoever gets the fight, fucking you, good job. You fucking got it over me, you cocksucker.
Yeah, well, because that's such a huge fight. Like Nate Diaz, man, just such a legend in the fucking MMA community.
Dude,
Such
seeing
a
him get
huge fight.
slept, there would be part of me that'd be like, oh. But like I said, I like Jake.
It's hard not to love Nate.
It's hard not to fucking love
He's
Nate,
so cool,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
Such a fun time when I interviewed him. So okay, then we got also another fight coming up. Obviously, KSI and Fury. Mm-hmm. How do you think that's gonna go? This is obviously boxing.
Yeah. Tommy can box. He's a good boxer. The only time I really watched him fight was when he fought Jake. He's good at jab, and he understands boxing. He really, really does. KSI is he's athletic, and he hits hard, and he's fast. Like he's just an athletic, and he's kind of been boxing a little bit. You can tell he when he has a fight going, he boxes a lot. But it's not been his lifestyle. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say Tommy probably picks him apart. Tommy could probably finish KSI.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, he beats him in every other stat too. I was looking at the stats, like he's like taller, younger, heavier, all this shit.
But I'm not too familiar with KSI. They're just fucking hearing his name a bunch. But because he's in the UK.
Yeah, he's like the biggest UK YouTuber I think ever.
Yeah, and they have their old Sideman channel.
Yeah, massive. Like he's huge.
They're fucking killing it. Yeah, but I don't know. I that's a fight. Like if there's nothing going on, it's Saturday night and it's during. Is it in the UK?
Yeah, it's in Manchester.
See if it's like a random fucking. I might watch it. It's not like
Logan Dildon.
Oh, if Logan's on there,
that's what
Logan
saying,
Dildo is on there. I'm 100% watching that. That's a fight that gets me excited for sure.
Yeah. Damn, bro. I just wonder I wonder when the influencers are gonna start moving towards MMA.
No, there's too much different shit you gotta do in MMA. Like if one guy wrestled in high school and the other guy's never wrestled in his life, it's like, all right, the guy that wrestled is gonna fucking take him down, and it's just
there's just so many areas to develop. Boxing, it's like
boxing's
boxing's
easy to watch
boxing.
too.
But if you talked about influencers doing this boxing shit and Jake Paul taking this serious, like if you were years ago saying this, you would have been the same shit.
True.
Like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And like, look at this shit. He's about to fucking box Nate Diaz.
Like if Logan fought KSI in MMA, Logan would fucking kill him.
Yeah.
I don't think depending if KSI wrestled, but I don't think they wrestle over there. Yeah, look, I mean, in a boxing fight, they fought and it's whatever, it was close. But in an MMA fight, Logan would be able to. He's a good wrestler. You saw him fucking grapple with Paulo Costa. Motherfucker can grapple.
And you get fatigued in boxing, like you do. You get fucking tired.
Yeah.
But MMA is a whole different
Way more.
story. How fatigued you fucking get, dude. And I think a lot of those influencers would feel that and be like, "Fuck." They'd roll with a brown belt or a purple belt or a black belt in jiu-jitsu and be like,
I've been there.
Jesus Christ.
I've been there.
Like, fuck.
And you can hit mitts and like train for that, and it's kind of like fun. It looks good. You're hitting mitts, you're running, you're hitting the bag. MMA is just a whole nother fucking story. You got too
Bro,
much shit.
I think it's
going
gonna go there though.
Be sick.
I think that's the
I'll
next
watch.
iteration of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, you could be right for sure. I'd watch if they're characters for sure. I mean, who knows? Jake could start that. Jake versus fucking Nate in MMA. That's the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems
That'd be
like.
that would be sick. I wish that was happening tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, them in MMA? Who do you think would win that fight out of those two?
Nate would probably choke him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nate would choke him.
If Jake beat Nate, that would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many different things. There's on the fence. That's a
So
whole
why would he
different
just
world.
not say, fuck it, take the fight? Why would he not take that fight when he calls him out
Ooh,
at the
Nate?
presser? Yeah.
Nate, yeah.
Unless Nate thinks he's going to go in there and beat his ass in boxing. He's like, there's no point.
Nate
like,
was
whatever.
acting like he was acting like that'd be embarrassing if I fought this kid.
I see. It almost feels like Nate does not like want to promote this shit at all. He just don't give a fuck. Like he's like, it's almost like
A joke, yeah.
Like it's kind of corny.
But it could be, who knows, that could be like he's kind of nervous. Like, fuck, I don't want the more.
You can sense he can tell Jake can box. He can tell Jake's a fucking
He knows
boxer.
that.
Yeah.
He's talked about it. I mean, even talked to him off camera. And he's like, he knows the kid's taking it serious. He knows it's not like a fucking game fight, you know?
Yeah.
Taking it serious for sure.
I'm excited for it, regardless.
I'm excited as fuck.
I'm
man.
hyped.
Super fucking excited. So when are you going to come back out to LA?
After this fight, I'd like to get out there. I've been telling Bobby Lee I'm going to hop on his podcast for fucking so long, but I haven't been back to LA for a long time. So after this fight, I'd like to go out there for sure. I got some shit I could do out there. Come over to, you still in the same spot, right?
Yeah.
Same
come
place.
train.
Yeah. So probably after this fight, for sure. What is it? August. And then we got September, October, November. I'd probably be able to fuck around for a month and then if I want to fight in December, get back into camp like shortly after.
Would you roll around, do some rolling with me? I'm not saying fight me. I'm just saying let me roll around with you a little bit.
Yeah,
Not serious, you know.
I know. You're
training.
just a big fucker. I just, that's like me saying, do I want to go snowboard and hit some jumps, like risk some shit? I don't know.
But he wouldn't slam you and
No,
stuff.
I
so-
wouldn't go hard.
I
honestly
would.
just want to learn.
No.
You would.
I would want to see you and Tim go pretty hard.
I'll do it.
No, that'd be sweet. Yeah, we'll definitely want to come out there. We could hit some bench press and shit.
Yeah, some bench. A little,
Introduce me to some of them fucking mamacitas you'd be fucking
There's a-
posting with.
Oh, man.
I actually wouldn't even want to go there. I'd bark at chicks. I'd be too horny. I'd have to jay off like 3 times before we head to the gym.
Yeah,
So I could just be normal.
Do you
No, I'm
like
kidding.
fit chicks?
Not jacked.
Not jacked.
a good back.
A good back.
I'm not into super jacked, but I'm also
What's super jacked though? Like you know.
I guess
$150.
no. I mean, it depends how tall you are. I don't. I like big shoulders and muscles and abs. Like, would I hit? Yeah. But I don't know. It depends. Like, sometimes I want a juicy girl. Sometimes I want like a skinny chick. I don't know. I literally go through different phases. This motherfucker. I wish I had his brain.
What?
Wait, why? Why?
What, bitch?
His standards are just so.
Bullshit.
There's such
Well,
a
your
good-
standards are
no,
bad?
No, just a good range.
They're
Just a
broad.
good variety of chicks.
Yeah.
He's got a good. He respects all women. I do too, but like he respects like in a different way.
Wait.
You could say that.
He would fuck some seriously. No, I'm kidding. But if it's 3 a.m.
You would too. You would too.
No,
Yo.
it depends. No,
Is
Tim,
that true?
No.
he has good. He has funny standards. Put it that way.
That's not true. Come on.
I mean, what are we talking here?
Yeah.
No, he's actually been on good. He got a good.
Are you
run.
talking about like 4s?
The
No.
thing is I haven't really seen him hook up with an ugly chick, but I also know he wouldn't tell me.
That's fair.
So it's like, if he,
That's accurate.
That's fair. You just slide it in. You'd be like, oh, that never happened.
yeah, he's good at being like, oh, that was a dream.
That was a dream. Let's talk
never
about
happened.
dream. You ask him about his dreams because he's not smoking or
Bro, my
not doing.
vivid ass dreams, not smoking weed.
Is
for
it
sure.
any about the fight?
I haven't had one about the fight. Some have been sexual. Most of them are sexual, probably.
Do you actually take inventory of like your dreams? Like, do you take like? Do you ever?
I
like,
mean, I just last 2.5 weeks have just been so much more vivid. It's kind of just like you just remember them. One time I had a vivid dream of like Sono had a semi parked outside, and I went to go put it in park and started rolling down the hill, and then it hit the electric wires, and then it caused a fire in this neighborhood. It was so fucking vivid. I woke up and I just remembered it like it actually happened. I was like, damn, what if that was actually happening in another different universe? Like I was just seeing it for a little bit.
You been burning, smoking much?
I stopped smoking. Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, man. 'Cause
Edibles too?
Yeah, like I love them. Like I love edibles. I love smoking, but I just do a little too much, and I'm just bad anxiety, man.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just not. It's for me. Like I don't know if it's just a mindset thing overall. Like where like maybe it's I'm worried about certain things, and then like if I smoke, it gets worse. Or it's just like just in general, like my body just sometimes if it's just I'm too high, it just
Dude, the
doesn't like it.
quality of your marijuana is such a real thing that people we talk about it and they're like, yeah, whatever. You go get some shitty weed just at any dispensary that doesn't say it's organic, outdoor grown, quality marijuana. You're smoking pesticide. You're smoking shit that just unhealthy weed. So you take too much of that, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get that fucking anxiety. You take some good quality puffs off some good quality weed with a quality vaporizer or something, and it's different.
Yeah, that was the time I was with Steve before I came here, and he was saying the same thing about the edibles he eats, like super clean. He's like just straight up different type of high.
Yeah.
So I mean, how long you been smoking for?
Since I moved down to Arizona, probably 20, so 8 years.
Yeah. So you think that's for sure a thing?
I think the quality of the weed is 100. I mean, it's no different than the quality of food you eat. You eat organic fucking meat or you eat McDonald's. You feel it. You feel different.
Yeah, I need to start taking better inventory of that because like maybe that's the reason why like I'll just be like, oh, this is way too much.
Well, dude,
And are you taking a bong rip or a
No,
joint or
just
something?
a little joint, but it's like sometimes it's got keef on it, some like wild brand. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
and
especially
You get a nice
nowadays
little
in
King
California, they're just trying to get quantity, like so
Yeah.
much out. They don't give a fuck what they spray on it. So much.
Yeah. I think that's a big deal. We have a guy here that hooks us up with just fucking such quality organic shit that I literally, if I had some shitty weed or no weed, I would pick no weed for sure. There's no point.
Yeah.
I don't like smoking shitty weed. I get that anxiety kind of head rush. Like I don't want to be high feeling from shitty weed.
Yeah. So I think it's really real what you're saying then because I can definitely relate. There's times when it's like I feel this is perfect.
Yeah.
And then there's times where I'm like, this is just so uncomfortable. I don't like it. So I've just chosen not to do it recently.
Yeah, there's different strains too that'll make you feel different ways too. But yeah, I do believe the quality is important. Just like
You
anything.
hit energy drinks much?
Yeah, probably too much.
What kind?
Well, I'm sponsored by the Gym Weed. I like it, but I think sometimes I'm consistently drinking too many energy drinks.
Dude, too much caffeine will fucking.
Yeah.
Bro, I do caffeine in the morning, do my morning workout, and then in the afternoon I don't do caffeine. I'll do like just some amino acids and some Vitargo or something like that. But I had sparring Wednesday at 3 p.m., which is, so I was like, God, I want a little boost. I'm doing 5 fucking rounds with 5 fresh guys. I had some green tea, a little, probably too much. I felt that I was in bed at like 10 p.m. and I could just feel the little bit of caffeine. I'm very sensitive to drugs anyway.
Me too.
And so I'm like, fuck. Usually this time and I can pass out, but I could feel that little bit of caffeine rushing through my veins, just a little bit, and it fucked with my sleep that night. But caffeine is, people drink 200 milligrams at 2 p.m. That's insane. I probably drank 75 milligrams.
Jacob shotguns Monster, smokes a ciggy and goes to sleep.
Damn, that's fire.
Yeah, but editors are wild like that.
Yeah.
But I relate to that sensitivity in caffeine and drugs in general. If I drink, I realize if I drink caffeine past like 5 o'clock, I'm literally not going to bed.
Caffeine has a half-life of 8 hours. So if you drink 100 milligrams of caffeine in 8 hours, you'll still have like 50 milligrams of caffeine in your body. So you're drinking, past, I try not to really do it dependent on my day, past like noon, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do it.
But it's hard. I mean, if you got a podcast and you got to go to the gym and you got to go train, and you got to do a video, and it's like fucking all this shit.
Yeah, it definitely gets difficult.
Yeah.
For sure. But I think for most people listening, like definitely a rule of thumb, like I would never drink it past 5 o'clock. For sure. You're going to fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think people in general just drink too much caffeine. 100%. Like way too much caffeine.
Yeah.
And then they become dependent on it where it's like if they don't do it, they're just completely in the
Well, then their chemicals are all fucked up. And I've been obsessed with sleep for a long time too. So I'm like,
I remember. That's why I wanted to talk to you about this like vivid dreaming stuff. Have you done anything like any work in like that space of like, you know, the vivid dreams and trying to keep inventory of your dreams and trying to see what they mean, or you just say fuck it?
I've never looked too far into it, like, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? Just because they're so fucking just random. Like, or if I'm fucking horny as fuck thinking about a chick, like I'll have a dream fucking her. That's always sweet. I try to do that sometimes.
I go to sleep like thinking I'm gonna go into this. Wow.
No, I'm kidding, but that would be fire. But yeah, I haven't really thought about too deep. Like I know some people have done some serious stuff and like looked into it, but I've never really been too on that.
So sleep is obviously, we talked about this before, but sleep is one of the most important things that you track.
Yeah, sleep, Aura Ring. It's cool. We have like they added a circle, so you can add, like Tim has an Aura Ring, Emron. We're in a little group, and you can see everyone's sleep and recover and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Have you noticed that really affects your actual performance? When you see like what is it, HRV? What is it?
Yeah, it's called readiness on ours. It's interesting because Aura has a new algorithm. So like what they were looking at like 2 years ago, if I was constantly getting like 90 sleep scores, and then they add the new algorithm and they're tracking deep sleep differently, and you're like, what the fuck? I was getting 3 hours of deep sleep and now I'm only getting an hour and a half. It's just because the algorithm. So you can't look into it too much because it's not perfect, but it's a good indicator. But for me, if I'm like, I didn't work out on days that says you should probably rest, like then I would train twice a week. Like you got to push through those days, and you just got to know, all right, it's, usually I can have a pretty good idea when I wake up how my sleep score and readiness is going to be. I've been doing Aura Ring for like 5 years. I have a lot of data. I actually had a sleep scientist come to my house a couple days ago. And we did like a crazy study with a bunch of shit all over my body. And then they have sleep image ring, like a different ring. Like they said it's an Aura Ring, like just the best type of ring you could monitor it. But it's not for sale. It's strictly for like science. So I've been working with.
You did a sleep study.
Yeah, I've been doing a very in-depth sleep study the last through this camp. So I'm curious to see what that they're gonna have like a sleep protocol for me. I don't know what that means or what it's gonna look like, but it's cool to have like sleep scientists analyzing my sleep.
Do you have what other like forms of like non-combat training stuff do you really emphasize?
It's funny. I journal every single fight camp. I do it outside of camp too, but not as much. But in fight camp, it's funny. I can go back and look at every single fight camp pretty much. Probably the last 5 whatever years, and like look, because I have 17 days to the fight, 16 days to the fight, and I can go read what I did every single day and what I weighed and stuff. So journaling was a huge one.
You've been meditating much?
Yeah, my meditation in the mornings. That's like in and out of camp. That's something I have to do.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of 20-minute meditations during the day too. Usually they turn into naps, but they're in that weird phase to where it's like you don't know if you're sleeping or not.
Awake,
you're like floating when I can feel my muscles like pulsing. I feel like when I can feel that, I can feel my muscles recovering. Like it's weird, but that's fucking been a big part of camp too, is 20-minute meditations like in the middle of the days for recovery. Just to like, that's kind of my caffeine. That's like, I'm like, fuck, I have to train again later. I'm gonna hit this, fucking dunk in the cold and get after it.
What do you like about the journaling? Which is funny because Stein would always give me shit on the journaling. But what do you like about the journaling? Just to keep track of things?
Something soothing about it. Something just like writing it down. Just fucking, I don't know. I don't know. Reading it back is really, really cool. I like that. I've been enjoying that a lot. Tracking everything, I think it's important for fighters and to do, or just athletes anyway. How are you feeling this far out? You know, what were you dealing with this camp and stuff? So that's nice, but it's something soothing. Just fucking writing, just sitting there. I don't write a lot. Sometimes I write a page. Sometimes I write half a page. Sometimes I'll write in the morning and then I'll come back and write, what time it is and write again. But it's something soothing about it. I don't know.
Like it's like a different form of meditation almost.
Yeah,
that's why I like it.
A different form of meditation. It's
because you can push those thoughts out there that maybe like you have been bouncing around, like things that you're trying to figure out, and you put them on paper. It just makes it more clear for you to like decipher it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful though. Our boy got caught. He smashed some biscuits and he wrote in his journal, and his girl read it. R.I.P.
Done for.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Is that a true story?
100%.
Fuck. I thought you were trolling.
No, he wrote it.
Whoa.
He smashed at my house. Smashed some. I had a party at my house, and he smashed some chick. And he wrote it in his journal, and she fucking read it. That's funny. That's one thing too with Danny. Like, she's never read, I mean, as far as I know, anything she's never broken that line of privacy ever.
Yeah.
That's where that's like a huge fucking deal. I was like,
you got a real one, man.
Yeah, I've been with Danny for fucking 8 years or so. I would never fucking remember something like that. And yeah. Once it's that long, and you like, hopefully she like, this is forever type shit. Like, I want to have more kids with you. She's a good baby mom and stuff, but it's like, yeah, as long as she lets me be me, shit's gonna be all right.
Yeah, I respect it. I love it. Well, I think, what else you guys have to do? Do you have another training?
Tim's got to teach. I got to go. I just got a farm. I just bought a farm. I got to go to a farm. Yeah, I bought a farm. Well, I mean, like it's 20 minutes from here. There's a cow and 15 chickens and
4 acres,
a tortoise.
Six
yeah, it's fucking dope.
Are you gonna build anything there for training, or just?
I'm building a fucking 4,000 square foot warehouse right now. 50 by 80. It's gonna be fucking. I'm gonna put a full size octagon in there.
You're
gonna Mark Zuckerberg. You saw he put an octagon in his house.
Did you really?
His wife got mad. Did you see that?
In his house?
Not in his house, like somewhere outside property? In his property. And she was like, funny. Yo, I just got this grass or some shit nice. And
that's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna put. Yeah, it's gonna be pimped out. But yeah, that's planned. Hopefully, I can get that up by like October, because I wanna be able to spar and shit in there for the big cage, dude. People, it's like there's a small cage in the UFC and then there's a big cage in the UFC. The big cage is 44% bigger. It's damn near twice as big.
What does this cage relate to?
Small cage.
Small cage.
Yeah.
So the bigger cage is 44% bigger than that.
Big cage is fucking big, dude. It's
because that cage is bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's a big cage. So that's that's another thing that gives me a lot of confidence going against Aljo. Is like, he's lucky there's a cage in general. Like, that, taking someone down in the open is way fucking harder than pinning someone up against the fence and taking them down. So the big cage is definitely going to play a big role. But yeah, it's hard to find places that have big cages because they are so massive. So building that one out there is going to be super beneficial. So do you plan to stay in Arizona like for good, or would you move anywhere? This summer's been brutal. I wouldn't mind. We were thinking, maybe Prescott, Flagstaff, Sedona up there. It gets way cooler. Maybe looking for a summer place, a summer house. Maybe even next summer, depending on how shit goes. But it's tricky because, like, well, fuck, if you have a fight, and it's like, am I able to do that? But yeah, I think living in Arizona for a long time for now, especially with Tim. He has the gym here. He's got all his students I wouldn't move anywhere unless Tim did, so I don't think Tim's moving anytime soon. Damn. That bond's real. Yeah, it would be weird fucking living somewhere and be like, I guess we could play Call of Duty together sometimes. But yeah, it would be weird living somewhere without him. So.
You been playing COD much?
No, I don't play any video games. No.
Fell off.
I mean, I'll play some, like, I was playing Diablo because that just came out. The remake, or number 4 came out. but they made it really similar to like the original ones, and I played that back in the day.
This might be the first fight camp, I want to say, ever that I haven't been gaming.
Is it just because of the seriousness of it, or?
I was like, okay, I need to take these 2 hours of gaming that I'm doing and rest and recover and take shit to the next level.
Because there is that stimulus for sure of like playing.
It's exhausting. I was streaming too. I was
He's high
fucking
energy streamer,
screaming. Like,
Oh yeah.
I get a kill, I'm hyped. I die, I'm pissed. Like, I was up and down, and I'd go off, and I'd be like, oh, I'm exhausted. But I always managed it in camp. Like, I wouldn't game every day. But this is the first camp I haven't streamed, and I think forever.
Like your whole career.
Yeah. At least as long as I haven't streamed my whole career, but I gamed my whole fucking life. So yeah, it's the first time I haven't gamed.
Damn, it's fucking serious. I'm so excited for this fight, man. I'm so excited for the fight.
August 19th. It's a big fight. It's like, I talked to some people at the UFC. They're doing like they're actually doing this documentary. UFC's doing a documentary. They haven't ever really done one. Well, it's on the UFC with like Hunter and Dana, and like I don't know how much I'm supposed to say about it, but they have just a couple fighters. But yeah, they're filming this documentary, and it's gonna be fucking sweet. It's gonna be some behind the scenes shit, like with the UFC negotiations and meetings and stuff. So I don't know what it's gonna be. I'll be like, but the UFC is doing it, and they were saying like there's some big fucking buzz about this fight. Like this feels like a massive fight, which it doesn't feel like that to me. It literally feels like another fight. I don't feel any different than any of my other fights. I don't feel like, oh shit, this one's huge.
But you changed up your gaming for it.
Yeah, but
You mean just like in general, the idea is not.
yeah, it literally just feels like another fight. It's 2 extra rounds. That's the biggest difference. It's 5 rounds, and I'm fighting the best guy in the division. But mentally, I'm not overthinking it. Like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, this is it. This is the one. This is the big one. Like, it's just another
I'm
fucking fight.
I'm so stoked for this fight, man.
Fuck yeah.
So you're thinking knockout? You got to get
Oh
him.
fuck yeah, 100%.
Oh, I mean, you always think
I will
knockout.
forever say that. What's your prediction? What do you want to do? I want to knock this dude out cold every fight. That's always what I want
Yeah.
to do. That's always what I've wanted to do my entire career. Even when I was boxing and kickboxing, like I would try to go in there and fucking knock someone out. And I've knocked a lot of people out, so
This
add
is
them to the list.
Bro, I'm so excited for this fight. So, the 19th, Boston, Massachusetts. I'll be there. I'm gonna make sure I'm there.
Got to be there.
Obviously you're gonna be there. And then after the fight, do you go out? Do we go out after the fight?
Well, the thing is it's the East Coast, so by the time the fight rolls around, it'll probably be like
shit.
11:30, 12. Like, it's gonna be fucking August 20th by the time I goddamn fight.
Oh,
but then
yes.
after, you got at least an hour of media. But before that hour of media, you got to go, cool off, maybe shower up, So I probably won't even get out of the arena till 2 a.m. And
Yeah.
Boston closes at 2 a.m. They don't have anything open. They don't have clubs after 2 a.m. or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, depends how the fight goes. I fucking go out there, lose. I probably ain't gonna really want to party. I go out there and knock them out. Let's fucking find some hookers and some cocaine, baby. Let's go.
God. Or it's almost like let that just sink in, have that belt, let it sink in, have a good meal, and then just plan a real rager with the belt.
I like the coach. I like.
No,
the
yeah,
coach.
I don't think
like
there's gonna be. I was kidding. Obviously, I don't think there's gonna be much to do.
Yeah, no. It's
you
not
know.
like Vegas, because Vegas is like.
Oh yeah,
after
we'll
those
find
fights,
something to do.
Or
crazy.
Miami.
Bro.
No, I'll find. Depends. Well, get on the jet, head back home, and like you said, plan a real fucking party.
Yo, so Steve Will Do It sent me a question. This is a question for.
Oh God.
This is a good question, actually. It's really interesting. This is for Tim. Ask Tim about post jerk mindset versus pre jerk.
That's a good question there, Steven.
Good God. Like some days, I mean, you feel like a predator when you're just like.
When you're loaded,
Fuck,
when you're loaded.
nothing's safe. Like, yeah, it's just brutal. I mean, you guys can relate.
Yeah.
You could do some dumb shit. Like, dumb shit.
See, that's where we're different.
then
Like, I'm
you-
so stoic.
But then you bust and
So
you're like,
stoic.
wow, I can't believe I was even.
I've done
what
shit
the
like that.
You have too, Brad. I mean,
I have. I'm not even going to pretend like I haven't had moments like that where I'm like, why did I
Every
just do that?
guy that's a straight male, even though gays probably do go through that.
Same
shit.
shit.
Too.
Same
Like,
shit.
God, I can't believe I fucked him.
oh,
Someone's gonna clip that.
God damn it, Steve.
Who cares? It's funny. Yeah, but do you think it affects, like, I mean, are you looking out for that? Because I feel like based on what he was saying, maybe you fuck some, sounds like some dirty.
No,
some sex.
he's been on some good. He's been on a good tear the last couple of years. I've given, like I said, he wouldn't tell me though, but I haven't seen him smash any Uggs. But if I say, hey, would you smash her? and she's not cute, he'd be like, yeah, probably, but I wouldn't tell you. So that's how I know. Like,
You have too, Brad.
I have.
Don't.
I have. But this is time ago.
yeah,
Time
yeah,
ago.
of course.
Same,
of course.
same.
My
Last
shit's
week.
changed. Elevated. Oh man. Do you think jerking like affects training?
Oh, fucking hell yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I
100.
think so. You come in there sharp, energy. You're feeling like a bull compared to just feeling like a limp noodle.
Oh god, you bust before hard practice, bro. That is not a good idea. I've done that time too many, and it's not worth it. But sometimes I still do it. Sometimes I'll
Sometimes you
still do it. I fucked Danny this morning before I had to do a hard workout, and I was like, I knew I shouldn't have. I'm
Maybe it's
I'm
like
gonna-
a different level of training. You got to go even harder.
Yeah, well, I had like a hour-long threshold workout to where I was holding my heart rate at like 180 today for an hour.
Oh,
so it was like,
shit.
and I was on the Airdyne, so it was like, I have a pretty high heart rate, so it wasn't like, it was a hard workout, but I'm like, I went in, slipped it in, and
But
fucking
180
busted.
for an hour, dude. That's serious.
That's
I'm
fucking
in good
intense.
shape. I'm in good shape. I'm in fucking really good. I mean, I need to be doing shit like that or this close to this fight, but yeah, it's,
Fuck, that's intense as fuck.
I have a high heart rate. Yeah, I have a high heart rate. Like, it's, I'm not
But for an
sprinting. I'm
hour.
not sprinting for an hour, but.
Still. You been seeing Steve much? Hanging out at
Yeah,
all?
well, just recently, I was just in Vegas with him. But prior to that, I haven't seen him much. No.
Missed that fucker, dude. And I wish he was on YouTube so
Bro,
bad, bro.
Seriously.
Every time I see him, I think the same thing. I don't know, man.
He's
I think
doing good.
You know, he's doing good. I know he's doing good. I just know it's like he definitely has like where should he put his energy work wise? I know he's kind of dealing with that struggling there because it's just like, you know, the other platforms are great and he's able to post there, like, you know, Rumble and stuff like that. But like the reach, right, to grow is not necessarily the same that you would have
Yeah.
on YouTube. 'cause
He's
there's
still
so
getting
many-
a mil views though and shit on Rumble, which is
Yeah,
impressive
but-
as fuck.
But it's like direct audience, right, that he's cultivated over
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Versus like now, if we talk about moving forward,
finding random people,
finding new people, like
he's got
'cause-
everyone on Rumble watching his shit.
Yeah,
so he's
I
got
mean,
to
he's-
try to find out how to get people to Rumble.
Yeah, he's driven direct traffic. So now it's like, where could he get people to go see his videos like organically? Like, how is he reaching more people?
I know. I always try to retweet when he posts his shit, when he posts his videos, just fucking because I feel bad for him too.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like eventually, I don't know. I do believe that eventually they'll come around. Maybe not let him like post again, but at least let him show up in videos and like be on podcasts and stuff. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah,
'Cause
which
the
he don't give a fuck.
The higher
about
ups on YouTube are in LA, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know. I think what it seemed like is because like once he got kicked off, he was like pretty vocal about getting kicked off, and I think
Yeah.
they didn't like that. You know, but like I know he's really cooled it down, and like hopefully
Yeah.
like they'll let him come back because like I said, even just being content, because I miss that. Like I go hang out with him, we work out, and it's like I'm this awkward like. I can't really film you, but it's like you're my boy, and we're here, and I always film everything, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm still here regardless. But it's like it's a weird dynamic for sure.
Have you reached out to the Top G at all?
Oh,
Yeah,
Top G's free
for a
today,
pod for
right?
you?
Oh yeah.
No, he's free.
Well, so yeah. I've been WhatsApping him and asking him. I want to do an interview with him, but I'm curious. Like you say, free.
I
like,
think
so they
today he's not on house arrest,
not on house arrest,
and he's not going back to jail.
he's not going back to
That's
jail.
what Garrett texted us today, right?
So, but he has to stay in Romania, is what I understand.
Okay.
But I want to fly out there and interview him for sure.
Hell yeah. See his pad would be cool.
Yeah, I just think you know what's so funny about that whole Tate thing is like you have these like you know everyone on everyone the side political whatever spectrum bullshit and they're all attacking and hating this guy like
Yeah.
saying whatever they can to like make him look like oh he's this bad guy, this person that they're painting this picture to be. And then it's interesting how like well if he's that guy then why is it falling apart?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it was that definitive of evidence to like prove that these like really terrible things happened,
Yeah.
then like why would he be getting further away from being locked up and not going
I
closer?
think it's pretty clear. I mean, it's pretty clear they don't have shit against him, and he's they would have found something by now.
I just find it so interesting that like there's a blog like whatever other channels that are really like anti-Tate, anti-this, anti-that, and they would make everyone that watches them believe that like this guy's really this terrible
Yeah.
human. And like they just push that narrative, and then it's like I just find it funny when it's like the reverse starts to happen because like if he was that terrible human, that they would fucking lock his ass up and he'd be locked
Yeah.
up. So I really do find that interesting. Like just in general, if we're just talking about the internet, there's just like I don't know if you guys noticed it or not. I talked with Steve a bit about it. I did a pod with him that obviously I can't post on YouTube, but just the general like I'm not trying to get real political and shit here, but like the world's in a really weird place with just like media, news, like pushing people here or there towards like political shit. It's like, it's getting fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
Obviously you're a fighter. You're not fucking.
I listen to Rogan. That's where I get all my fucking news from.
Do you think the Twitter is going to reach a whole new level than it was at?
You mean
because
X?
Elon?
X, yeah, absolutely. I do think Twitter / X, we would call it. I think it's going to be completely. I think he's focused on like he wants to make that like an everything app. Like I think he's going to put like crypto stuff in there, like where you could trade. He's going to put like, I think they're going to put long format, like more focus on long format content. It looks like they're trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And I think he's the guy of all the guys who could do it. You know, because like they're so focused on, even with this like monetization thing for creators, like they're giving like all the monetization to creators unless you pass like $100,000 a month, then they're taking like 12% or something like that, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
Compared to other platforms. So like they're really trying to be competitive.
Damn.
So I think Twitter, the place, like, and then couple that with like not censoring what people are saying, and like, you know, because I can't go on certain platforms and say certain things, and it's just like I know it's going to get demonetized or restricted or whatever. And you know, Twitter is like really anti that, so they're setting themselves up to be a really, really massive player. I feel like in the social media space,
especially with his brain behind it. Who knows? It could fucking
yeah, he's huge. But it's just that the world is such an interesting place now with all this. Like everyone is just like, I don't know if you. They're like set up to attack each other. Everyone's just set up to attack each other, disagree. It's getting
weird,
fucking
dude.
weird, man.
Weird time to be live. Fuck, Brad. I feel like we could talk forever.
Yeah, we
My
gotta get
team's
going.
Gotta fucking go. I gotta get going too.
Yeah, sorry.
You're the man, bro.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks
We'll
for coming.
see you August 19th.
Yes, sir. So subscribe to the fucking channel, podcast, iTunes, YouTube. Show love. Drop a good comment. We love you guys. We're out of here.